Hey, it's Vass here from Aussie RC Playground and welcome to another unboxing. Today on the bench we have the RLAARLO XTS. Now this is a rally car and I think it's RLAARLO's first rally car. I've only had a few rally cars in my time, but I haven't had a proper 10 scale one. I've had little tiny ones and I had the really big 8 scale one from Hobby King many years ago, which is now long discontinued. But this is my first proper like 10 scale one. And I'm really excited about it. I think RLAARLO have actually done a really good job with this. Now there are two versions of this. There's an aluminium one and there's a carbon fiber one. I've been very fortunate this time around with my luck of the draw and got the carbon fiber version, which comes with a bigger motor, a bigger ESC, and a few carbon fiber bits as well as this very cool body that you see here. So this does come with some 70-75 alloy parts. I think the chassis is 70-75, and we have a top speed of about 50 to 80 kilometers an hour, which is probably achievable in a car like this, but you know, we'll find out. We'll see what happens. So let's get rid of that box and let's have a look at what we actually get when you get one of these. Now you can see that there's probably some stickers missing from this car. They give you the car kind of like with this plastic protective thing, which will peel off in a second. And then they give you a bunch of stickers in here for you to stick on there and decorate it to your heart's content. Of course, you do get the radio as well, which we'll talk about in a second. And in this bag, we get a bunch of goodies. We have some Velcro battery straps. We have some Allen keys, some cross wrenches, what looks to be a high-speed pinion, and some spare gaskets there, possibly for the diffs. We also get some zip ties. Not sure why we'd need those, but maybe we'll find out. We get what I believe might be for the battery strap, so this might be for the actual battery tray. There's also a couple of foam blocks in here, and there's some hardware in there to actually bolt it onto the chassis. Now this does come with a battery, and they give you a charger. Now, I personally don't like these chargers, but if you have absolutely nothing else, and this is your first RC, well, you know, at least you get something to charge your battery. It's probably just going to take you about 5 working days to charge this up, so because they're very slow. As I said, we've got some stickers here, so plenty of stickers. You can decorate the car, your lunchbox, whatever it is you want to put them on. We've got some upgraded parts, so they give you a list of bits here. They also give you a sheet to kind of work out where all the stickers go and how to decorate the car if you want to follow them, you know, how it's supposed to look out of the factory. There's also some additional stickers here. God, they give you so many stickers. And then in here we have the actual manual. There is some exploded views. It looks as there's a couple of different ones here. There's an extra sheet that they've put in this manual. This is actually my first time looking at this, to be honest, so looks like it's written all in Chinese. Is there an English version, or is it split up, or what am I missing? Parts list down the back here, more exploded views, and I think, okay, there's a mixture of English and I believe that might be Chinese. I could be wrong, sorry if that's not correct. There's also a very unique way to take the body on and off, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything you get in the box when you get one of these. Okay, now before we start off with the radio, a couple of things. Number one, please subscribe to the channel if you are watching this and if you like this type of content, and also hit that bell so that you're updated with every new upload that I make. It's come to my attention that about 84% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel, and that hurts my tiny little feelings. So if you wouldn't mind just hitting that subscribe button, it's free, it doesn't cost anything, and it would really help me out a lot. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is taking off this plastic film, because I'm pretty sure it's annoying you as it is annoying me. And now we have the body fully revealed. Moving on to the radio. This is a radio that we've had before here on the channel with some of the other RLAARLO cars. The radio itself is pretty well equipped. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. There's a little bit of a delay that I've had with these radios in the past. I haven't been a big fan, and you are limited in range a little bit, but they'll do the job. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that this actually comes with a gyro. So in this case, it could actually be a good thing to have this radio on here. So we'll find out. Hopefully I don't have too many complaints with it, but in some of the basher cars I've had before, I haven't been a big fan. All right, so here we are for the car itself, and I gotta say, RLAARLO have actually done a pretty good job with this car. There's a lot of little details going on here, and the more you look at it, the more you sort of find. So we've got a bit of a roof scoop, which is fake. It's just there for decoration. We've got some more fake vents here on the bonnet. We've got LEDs on the front and LEDs on the rear. We've got a plastic little grille here on the front of the car. We've got some plastic mirrors, some plastic handles, and we've also got a plastic side skirt. And we also got a little bit of a plastic diffuser on the back with an exhaust, and it's got an LED light in it, which you'll see working a bit later on. And then we've got the spoiler, which is also a hard plastic. Yeah, it's a really nicely finished car. Underneath, you'll see that it's got an etched aluminium chassis. We've got some carbon fiber bits on here. Got some really beefy arms, front and rear. Little diffuser underneath as well in carbon fiber, and there's also a little bit of carbon fiber on the front here with the bumper. And we've got some side skirts, and that's it. So as you can see, there's no body pins on this guy. And I gotta be honest, when I got this out of the box for the first time, I was looking at it, and it took me a good couple of minutes to figure out how to take the body off, because I had no idea. I hadn't seen anything, I hadn't been told anything, and I wanted to kind of discover it on my own as well. I think that was actually pretty good to do that. So the way that it works is the body is actually hinged on the rear, so you actually tilt the body up. But the way that it locks into the actual chassis itself, there's a couple of clips here on these like side bars, these Nerf bars, whatever you call them. So there's a clip there, and there's another one on this side, and you basically just flip them like that. And same on the other side. There's like a stopper, so that's locked, and now that's unlocked. And then on the front, there's a little push button here, like a little, you have to like pull it forward to unclip from the body, from the chassis rather. So you can see here now I've actually got, this is flopping, but I still can't take the body off. So you got to put your finger underneath in the front here and just pull forward a little bit, and the whole body comes off quite easily. Apologies if I clear my throat quite often during this review. I have a really nasty itchy throat that's making me cough from time to time, so I do apologize. And then you can see how it opens up, and we have this really intricate kind of detail that's going on. It's hinged on the back. You see all the LEDs, all the wire management that's going on here, and all the nuts and bolts holding all the plastic pieces together. So it's actually, it's pretty well thought out, like, and it's all blacked out. So they haven't done the usual mustard ketchup type of this cables, you know, it's not ugly. It's got a little board here for how the lights all work and everything. And it's really, really clean. Like, full credit to RLAARLO here for doing a really nice clean install of the LED lights. And then as you can see, we have the chassis itself right there. And there's a lot going on, right? So we'll talk about this as we go through it. First and foremost, the suspension on this car actually feels really nice and plush. I'm not sure if plush is ideal for a rally car, but it is nice to get a bit of travel, because something like this, you're probably going to be taking it on a little bit of dirt, and you know, you do want a little bit of ground clearance. This isn't a touring car, so it's going to be taken off-road here and there and everywhere, and no doubt people are going to do crazy stuff with this and maybe even do some jumping with it. So suspension comes out of the box pretty plush, pretty lush. And I think you know, with the aluminium shocks, you can actually compress the springs a little bit, lift the body up a bit. I believe it also has droop screws pre-installed on these arms, and you'll be able to adjust that if you do want to keep it nice and low for you know, some tarmac running or something like that. We have a couple of receiver boxes in case you haven't noticed. We have one here, we have one here. I don't know which one of these is actually housing the receiver. I think it might be the front one. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, we have some options. We also have a blank tray up the top here. So if you want to reorganize this a little bit, especially if you're going to put bigger batteries in this guy, because it only comes with the 2200 3S. If you're going to run a bigger battery, you're going to have to relocate the ESC up the top here. So it makes sense that they actually give us that to be able to swap that out. Now this ESC is an 80 amp. The motor is, it's right there. It's a 3650, and I think it's a 3300 kV or 3200 kV. Might be a 3300, I can't quite remember. Yeah, this, I mean, they've done a pretty good job with how they've organized everything here. We have a metal drive shaft going right through, and I believe this has a center diff. Yes, it does. So it's actually got a center diff in there as well, which I think is going to make handling really, really nice. The shocks and the shock towers, you can see them right here. The shock towers look to be 7075 as well. In fact, it's labeled right there. The shocks, aluminium shocks with threaded bodies. These look really nice. Nice BVP shock shafts in there as well. Sway bars pre-installed. Aluminium hinge pin holders on the front and rear of the front A-arms and front and rear of the rear A-arms. We have a couple of adjustment points on the shock towers for your shocks, and we've got a couple of adjustment points on the A-arms as well. So if you want to play around with suspension geometry and really tune this thing, you can do that as well. The other thing I really like about this is the front and rear A-arms look to be exactly the same. So they've minimized the amount of unique parts that are in this car. So if you break a front A-arm, or you just get a spare set of A-arms for your car, you can use them on either corner, front or rear. Because what they've done is they've just flipped them around either one way or the other. And I think you'll notice that when you look at it this way. So they're the arms there in the rear, and they're exactly the same as the front. They're just flipped over, right? So they're the same A-arms front and rear. And that's not a bad thing, right? I mean, some people will argue otherwise, but I think it just minimizes the amount of unique parts that you need to keep as spare for this car. Nice front foam bumper right here, and looks to be pretty well reinforced too. Sorry, you can't see. Looks to be pretty well reinforced as well. So if he does take a bit of a nasty hit on the front, I think it's going to be able to absorb a lot of that, which is really cool. We've got a fan and a heatsink built into the motor right there. Your servo is looks like a micro servo of sorts. It's not a standard size servo. That's probably one of the downsides with this sort of thing. I don't know if you can actually upgrade that to a standard size servo, but having a micro, I suppose in a car like this might be okay, but it has to be a pretty good quality micro, I suppose. There are twin chassis braces running all the way through the center there, in case you haven't noticed that, and they are carbon fiber on this particular version. Everything is really nicely reinforced. I haven't driven this car yet. I've powered it on, but I haven't driven it. I don't know how this handles, and maybe it handles awful. I can't imagine that it would, but maybe it handles awful. But as far as first impressions go, with the amount of detail that they've put in here, the amount of care that they've put into the wire management, thinking about, you know, upgradability and providing an additional plate for your ESC so you could run bigger batteries and everything else. Adjustment that you can do to the car for tuning. You know, the tires feel really nice and soft and pliable. There's nice foam in them. The wheels look fantastic as well. You're running CVDs in the front, and is it dog bones in the rear, or they got CVDs in the rear? I actually didn't check that. Let me have a look. No, it's just standard dog bones in the rear, which is fine. A lot of that's neither here nor there. So yeah, I mean, you look at the time and effort that they put into something like this, and the care that goes into it. They didn't just slap LEDs on here and let you sort out the wiring. They didn't just throw in a couple of plastic pieces. Like, these side skirts actually play a part in the way that the body fixes to the chassis. The rear diffuser plays a part in the way that the body is hinged to the rear of the car, and same with this front grille. It's attached to the clip that locks into the bumper keeping the body attached to the chassis. So that's where I'm going to leave this one, guys. Keep an eye out. I'm going to be driving this thing hopefully in the next couple of days and giving you some run footage of this. I'm going to get busy now and put some stickers on this thing, and yeah, hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to hit that thumbs up before you go. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll be speaking to you all next time.